I don't know about you guys, but I remember this fondly. Le Mans Eau Fraiche. This one's the Popeye edition. They also came out with the Superman edition. And then, just like that, with the wind, they were taken from us. And these are really good, true summer fresh versions of this DNA. Let's revisit this together. Can't even smell it. There we go. I'm wasting it, but it's okay. God, that smells so good. You know, it still has that vanillic sweetness, but a nice lavender soapiness and a bit of a minty green feel. This stuff just smells amazing. The closest thing we really have now to a fresh summer Le Mans fragrance is On Board. And that's really good as well, but it's not similar to those. So every time they release a new one that, you know, looks a bit fresh, in the back of my mind, I'm always like, okay, is Superman, Eau Fraiche, Popeye coming back? And, you know, I don't have high hopes that this one is that, but let's give it a try anyway. I looked at the note breakdown beforehand because this was another example where I wasn't going to buy it. And, you know, the notes didn't tell me a whole lot, and it came in stock on discounters, so I ended up buying it anyway. I bought it at the same time I bought Paradise Garden, which I knew I wanted. So here's what you're presented with when you get it out of the can. Pretty cool looking. Pretty cool design on the bottle, clear this time. There's no, you know, like paint that's covering things up. Pretty cool. So importantly, let's spray this one on. The atomizer appears to have like a gunmetal finish, but it could just be the lighting too. Almost missed. So let's see what we've got. So right away, a peppery kind of vanillic sweetness going on. Not a whole lot of freshness like I was hoping for. Kind of silly of me, I guess, but a little glimpse of hope was there, but it's gone right away. Doesn't have that freshness really. Just a sweet, peppery, kind of familiar opening going on here. You know, it smells pretty similar to the original, working its way down the line with an added, again, to use that term, like a peppery kick. So it just has a little bit more of a spicy, textured feel compared to the original, which is pretty much all lavender and vanilla with not a whole lot else going on, and a bit of mint, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of where this one is at right away. Let's take a look at those notes. Again, I looked at these prior, and really there's not a whole lot to go off of. Vanilla, white pepper, and ambergris. So the ambergris slash most notably the ambergris slash realistically the ambroxan is going to be the one thing that would give it a bit of that freshness, and depending on how it's used, sometimes it could give it a bit of an oceanic feel. So far, that's not present. Just primarily that vanillic sweetness with a hint of like a powdery, chalky tonka bean, and then of course the pepper. So they're saying white pepper here instead of black pepper. It's still giving off a peppery kick for sure. Maybe not as sweet and strong as some other pepper varieties out there, so it is a bit more mild here in this case, but it's also being tamed down and made a bit more smooth from the vanilla and things like that. So typically these will have amber in them, and I think that's kind of what the ambergris is acting for in this case. So to me, there's just not a whole lot to really bite onto, in the sense that it's not like, you know, Ultra Male, where it's, you know, in and of itself kind of a love it or hate it type of scent, very much 50-50. But one thing you could say about it is that it's very sweet. It has the pear, the cinnamon, and the vanilla. You cannot get away from the sweetness no matter how hard you try. And that part about it does make it unique. It might not be unique in a good way for everybody where you love it or even like it really or can tolerate it. But for some people, myself included, I happen to be a big fan of Ultra Male. It is just fun. There is nothing else out there like it, aside from now some clones, of course, but there was just nothing else like that when that came out. It really was something just out of nowhere, really interesting, different, and exciting. Go over to something like Le Mans Les Parfums. playing on that DNA, but adding in some iris, some cardamom, just giving it a bit more of a kind of a mysterious nighttime edge, which, you know, Ultra Male could have been for the night, but it didn't have a mysterious smell. You know, Le Male Les Parfums was more down to business, date night type of thing. Fast forward to Le Male Elixir, another great release focusing on honey and tobacco, which none of the others feature. Another unique point about that one. Popeye Eau Fresh, right? Those have the freshness, of course. So I guess what I'm trying to get at here, you know, a long-winded way of saying that this just doesn't have anything that makes it stand out. Yes, it's working with that original DNA, adding in just a little bit more of a spiciness, which it's not even a cardamom spiciness like from Le Male Les Parfums. Again, it's just a pepper. And Le Male Les Parfums does have like a black pepper in it, I think, going along with that cardamom. But if that's really all that this one adds, you know, and not a whole lot else, it just doesn't make it stand out like the others. And typically, I would argue that the Le Male line is pretty balanced in the sense that there's a little bit of everything for everybody. Now, with the discontinuations, that makes it a little bit harder because the fresh offerings are no longer the same. Again, now you would have to go with on board for summertime, you know, something like Elixir for wintertime, you know, maybe something like In the Navy for spring, and then, you know, whatever else, fall, Le Male Les Parfums, Ultra Male, any of them really, but you guys get what I'm saying. No matter what you're into, you could probably find something you would at least tolerate within that lineup. This just doesn't add the same type of variety. So this would be considered a little bit more of a filler release in my opinion. I'm not really sure what they were doing with this one, and I hope we get, you know, some follow-ups to the Elixir that'll be a lot more exciting. One thing I will say this one has going for it is that it's an eau de parfum. That's something I didn't notice until now. I looked because if this was going to be an eau de toilette, I was really going to grill into it even more because that's just weak sauce these days. But, you know, an eau de parfum, that's at least something exciting, and maybe it'll have really good performance. I would say the saving grace for Le Male Lover is if it just had, you know, 12 or 14 hour performance. That might be enough to get people to really start gravitating towards it. I don't know if that's going to happen. Likely, probably not. I could see it being an 8-hour scent or something, which is still adequate for sure. But, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. To clarify one thing, I'm not saying this is bad. To be honest with you, I really like how it smells. It just comes down to, do you need this if you have the others? And the answer to that is probably no. If you're a diehard collector, then of course that's a decision you can make for yourself. The bottle's cool, all of that's great. This will be discontinued someday, if not already maybe a limited edition, I don't know. But you guys know these come and go pretty quickly, usually. So that's going to be up for you to decide. It's not like Le Male Elixir or even Paradise Garden where it would really be worth hunting down and getting as soon as you can. That's kind of where I'm at. Are you going to see this pop up in list videos here and there? Most likely, because again, I like it. I could see myself wearing this for certain specific situations if I'm in the mood for something and I don't want something as extreme as the others. But again, you know, it's not going to be something that everybody's going to be excited about. I got mine on Fragrance Buy. It came into stock at the same time Paradise Garden did, and they both sold out quickly. If you want to be the first to be notified when brand new releases hit discounters quickly like that, get on my mailing list and texting list down below. After I sent out my email, Paradise Garden went very fast, okay? And so if you want to make sure you're getting these good deals, whether it's new releases or old discontinued stuff coming back, you got to be there. That's your one-stop shop. That is the place to be so you don't miss out, because if you're not there, truth be told, you will miss out. That's how quick these things go. So I'll see you on the mailing list and texting list. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.